We are starting where we left. Okay. Yesterday we talked about. We are starting where we left. Yesterday we talked about a few stuffs. For those who were there, we talked about the introduction of SQL. We also talked about how to create a table. We talked about how to create table, how to insert tables. So we did a lot of stuff yesterday. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's work. I'm trying to adjust my screen. Just give me a minute, guys, so that you see properly. Is that good? Yep, I think this one is fine now. Okay, now we can start. We can start our work now. Yep, today we have a different lesson. What we are going to do is alter table and updating existing data. That is today's work. So add new column to existing table. So we are going to add a new column. Then we also going to search something there. So we are going to now alter table and updating existing table. That is what we are going to do right now. Okay. So what alter table does is that if you want to change your table, maybe alter, from the word alter means change, right? So if you want to add a column to your table, let's say you have 5 columns, then you want to add the 6th column, you have to use the command alter. So alter table, that is what it does. Okay, so we are going to do that in a minute. So let's open our Excel and see how we can add a column. Okay, now this is my SQL. Okay, I hope you have opened your SQL, the Beaver, and if you don't know how to install those, yes, how to set your Beaver, make sure you check out some videos on YouTube. You can get them. Okay, and if you still don't find them, you can just contact me and I will tell you. Okay, select all from employees. Let's do that. As you can see, we have how many columns? We have 3 columns. We have employee ID, we have first name, we have and we have a second name. That is, we have 3 columns. So we want to add a new column, the fourth column. What we will do is this one. So let's do alter, so table employee. So the name of the table is employee. Right, then you go there, you move to the next line and say add column. So the name of the column, let's say maybe age. Alright, so that is the name of the column. So you don't stop here after writing the name of the column. You also give out the data type. So this is a string, this is a numeric, sorry, age is a number, so we say that a number is a numeric, right? So let's say numeric. Alright, so or integer, just write integer. Integer is a type of numeric, right? And let's check out if this works. As you can see, if you get these informations down here, it means that your query has run successfully. Okay, now let's select all from employees, then we see our new column. Yep, now as you can see, we have 4 columns now. We have employee ID, we have first name, we have second name, and age. Now we have 4 columns after doing using alter. That is what alter table does. So you want to add a column, you say alter table, the name of the table, then add column, the name of the column, then your data type. So whether it is integer or a string, or if it is a string, you specify if it is a char or varchar. That's, we talked about it yesterday, that varchar and char. Okay, char you use when you know the number of characters, and varchar when you're not sure of the number of characters, you use varchar. So let's not get there. Let's go back to our notes and see what is next. Okay. Um, um, okay. Um, okay. Altering table, we have done that. Okay. We have seen how to add a column. Right now, updating existing data. Updating city for each customer. And set values for the new columns. Updating city for each customer. Update customers, set city equals to Nairobi, where customer ID equals to 1. Alright, and so this is now when you want to insert. So what we have created a column. If you can remember, we have created the column age, and we have not inserted anything there. So how are we going to insert there something? We use update. When you want to insert something in that column, you use update. Alright, let's go back and see if we can update our new column, that is age. Let's go back to the beaver and see if we can do that. So once you go back to your dbeaver, open your dbeaver, and you can see here that we have then a new column that is age, but our age is null. Once we created our age, we did not insert anything, right? So for us to insert, you go back to you skip to a new line. Let's say, let me just skip till here. Okay, we want to insert into our age, right? Maybe 25. Let's say Ali is 25. So we're going to do is update. This is what we're going to do. Update. What are we going to update then? So we are going to update our table. So the name of the table, customer. So in a minute I'll tell you something here. I want you to pick no employee, sorry for that. That's the name of our table, employee. Okay, the difference between alter table and update table, right? So update table is used when you want to insert values in a column. For example, we have age, that is a column. Now we want to insert something here, number. That is when we use update. And altering table, when you are saying alter, you have to write the word table. You just say update employee, go uh, just you just write employee, write our table employee. Then let's move to the next line, set. So set age, age, age. So we are going to set our age 25. All right. So now where, let's write, it's not a must, but it is better to be specific, where employee ID. So employee ID equals to 1. All right. So once we do that, let's see and run our query if it works. It has refused. All right, we wrote our spelling error. All right, employee, so it should be O. Right, sorry for that. Boom, so it has worked. So when your query has a problem, you will see those stars error down. If your query runs successfully, and you will see this thing statistics once, then it means that your query has run successfully. All you have to do is go back to your where it is return select all from employees, then you will see your column. Okay, there we go. So inside our age now we have 25. That is what we use for update. So when you want to insert, when you have created a new column and now you want to send values in that column, you use this update employees, the table named employee, set age set. So now you're telling SQL to set age. So you want age to be 25. Okay, where, so now this is shows a specific, so where employee ID, so this is the employee ID equals to 1. For instance, we might have a lot of employees, right? So you say where employee ID equals to 1, and so it then goes and inserts 25 where the employee ID equals to 1. So what another important thing is that we have to end our queries with semicolon. Yep, this is very important. Make sure you end your queries with semicolon. This shows the end of your query. Alright, let's go back to our notes and see. Is there a question up to here? No? updating, we have done that. So there's another way of doing updating, but this one I don't recommend you guys doing this. Okay, alternative, we can use update customer set it equals to case customer id when one. Then you see this one is more complicated. I love to simplify my work, so this is the one you should use. This is the best one. Alright, even if you have a huge data set, then you can just write where customer ID equals to 1, then you go to the other line, you say where customer ID equals to 2, where ID, you see that? You don't even have to worry. Right, this is the best one, you should use this one. The other one is more confusing and I don't use it in my work. So let's see how it goes so that you become familiar with it. So if you are familiar with both, then you can choose the one you love most. Right, this says that update customer set city. So city is a new column. Case, in our case we have a city, we have a column age, right? We created a new column named age. So set age equals to, so now it goes to where customer ID. So now this is case customer ID, same as where customer ID. So when one, so it means that where customer ID equals to 1, then make it Nairobi. Alright, let's go ahead and do so. We check out if we can do it. Alright, so now let's open our dbeaver and see if we can do that. When you open your dbeaver, now let's do that. So we say update. So you say update, you say what update, then customer, that update employee. So we have our table name as employee, right? Employee. Alright, then move to another line, then say set age. So this is the column we have, age equals to customer ID. So when, so you got right and you get right when, right? Where customer ID equals to 1. Okay, let's leave some space for us for it to be clear. You guys can see properly, right? When 1, then we can say 26. All right, when 1, then 26. When 1, then 26, right? So this is going to change our 25 to 26. Let's go and check it. Right, let's run this query and see if it works. Right, update employee set age equals to case. Alright, so once we run this, okay, there's an error here. Let me check where the error is. So okay, so there's an error. I think I don't know where the error is. Alright, you have to write, there's something I forgot. Let me say this. I think you have to type end. Okay. So let's run our query. Okay, it has run successfully. You see, it's so complicated. You have a lot of stuff. You have to even type end when you finish your query. Alright, now let's go and select all from our employees and see if this query really works. Okay, 26, there we go. So it is you who to choose. So it's the same if you want to choose this one, which is more complex, to be honest, and it does the same work. So we also have this one, which is the same but more simpler. Okay, you can choose what you want. For me, I would have chosen the first one because it's so easy. You say update employee, set age equals to 25, where employee ID equals to 1. This is just pure English, right? This one at the end is also English, honest, and then you have to end with end. See that? Okay. Let's go back to our notes and see. Let's go back to our notes. There we go. Okay. So now we have done the two. So you choose the one you want. Okay. So we are on this. So let's check where are we? So we have done update and altering. Right. So now we are going to do something else. Right. Select all from customers. You should see this. Okay. So this one talks about selecting all. We also did that when we ran that query, select all from employee. This star shift means all. Okay, so it runs the query and then gives you back the informations that are in the table. Okay, so even we also have another table, but in our case we only have one table, that is employee. Right, thank you. Alright, so now let's continue. You now see. Alright, so we have done that, I think. Delete columns in SQL. So how are we going to delete a column? So let's say, for instance, we don't want that the column we created. So our column name is age. So we don't want it anymore. So we want to delete it. How are you going to delete it? This is how you are going to delete. In SQL, removing a column is done with the command. So you say alter table, then the table name, then drop column name, as simple as that. Okay, let's go back to our and the beaver and see it practically. Okay, once you go back to the beaver, let's say we don't want this edge column, right? We're no longer interested in that. Okay, alter table, you just say alter table, the name of the table, which is edge, right? mm, drop drop we say drop the name of the column. So you say drop column. Is that how you write column really? Am I confused? Or there's no right? Drop column. So the name of the column now you type, which is edge, right? Then you put semicolon at the end. So you get we have written alter table. We are going to change the table edge. So let's run that query. What has happened? So it says edge does not exist. No way. But we have our edge, right? Is there anything that I've missed? Okay, we have our age columns. I don't know why it is saying we don't have age. Alright. Oh, sorry for that. Sorry for that. You don't have. You are not supposed to write the table. You are supposed to write the table name. Okay, employee. Alright. So alter table employee. We are going to change the so something inside the table named employee. So that is age. We are going to drop this column, and this is how you do it. Okay, once you run your query, then it gives you these informations which shows that your query has run successfully. Now go back and select all from employees and see if it has really worked. Boom, there's no age right now. You have dropped the column. So that's how you do it, and it is frequently used in work. Make sure you are familiar with it. Now let's go back to our notes and see. So first we go back to our notes. There we go. We have done the alter table drop column. So the next one, deleting rows, right? So we have seen how to remove a column. All right. Now how do we delete a row, right, without deleting the column? All right. Delete from table name where. So then you give the condition. All right. So delete a specific order, id equals to 3. Okay. So let me show you what I mean. Let's go back to our dbeaver and see it. Okay. Once you go back to your dbeaver, and we are going to delete a row without deleting the column, and this is how it is done. Okay. So let's say we want to delete this row without deleting these columns. So and this is how you do it. Okay. So you say delete. Alright. So delete. No, that's not how we write delete. Sorry for that. So delete from. So you now name the table so you name the name of the table. So from, so the name of our table is employee, right? Employee. Okay. Now you move to the other line. So you write where employee ID where employee ID equals to 1. Right. Now put your semicolon at the end and see it. Okay, we have deleted our row without deleting our column. Let's go back and select all from employees. So once you select all from employees, you will no longer see your row, right? So that is how we delete rows, and this is permanent, and you have to be careful when you're doing it. So even it is said that most programmers, when they're using the delete command, they usually triple check. Even sometimes they even take a whole day to just see if they are correct without running the query. So that is why you should be very careful. You will end up losing your data set, and this is where it's very important, because if you say delete from employees, the whole data set will be lost. So this is why you should be very careful when you're using delete. And most people who use SQL day to day will tell you that do not use the delete. This one is very dangerous. You might lose your whole data set, and it is very risky, to be honest, and it is permanent. Now let's go back to our notes and continue from there. Okay, we were somewhere here, and delete from table name. Okay, I've deleted the row. That is good. Okay, now let's go to something else, right? Select. So do you remember this? I said select, the word select. Let's talk about now keywords. Select, will be using it frequently. So, and when you're running your query, you will come across select most of the time. The select statement is used to retrieve data from the table. So the table you have created, when you want to retrieve data from there, when you want to pick some data from your table, then you have to use the word select, right? Select from the word select in English. What does it mean? What is the synonym of select? It means pick. So if you want to pick something from the table, just say pick it. So but SQL doesn't understand the word pick, it only understands select, right? That is the word. So it is said that it is used to retrieve data. So it is used to pick data from a table. Okay, and it is the most basic and most important command in SQL, right? If you don't know the word, if you don't know how to use select, then you will not able to use SQL properly, because it is used most frequently. Okay, now we have syntax. Let's say column 1, column 2 from table name. This is a syntax showing you. This is an example. So you want to select two columns. Let's say you want to select column 1, column 2 from a table name. Alright, you have to use the word select. Okay, let's go back to our dbeaver and check it out. Once you go back to your dbeaver, we will see we have three columns, right? We have three columns there, as we deleted the other column. Okay, let's say you want to see the three columns here. Select. So you want to see employee ID, first name and second name. Let's say you don't see these things, right? How do you do that? Let me run this query so that I hide this information. Okay, you can see your table now. So what you do is you use select statement, select, then the name of your column. Then what was the other one? You guys can remember the other one? Our first name. Then from the table name, from employee. So our table name is employee. This is a basics now that we have retrieved from employee, this table. Okay, we have picked two columns, that is employee ID and first name. Okay, it doesn't mean that we have deleted the rest. It means only we have picked out of the three columns, we only picked these two, right? And this is how it should be done. Avoid using the star, because it makes your SQL do a lot of stuff, which is very harmful, right? So it is not recommended to use the star. That is the star, which means all, right? So always just pick what you want, right? Just pick what you want. Do not use the star shape. That is one of advice given by a professor that will teach you once we finish this SQL. Then he will come and teach you by himself. So okay, avoid using starship. Only use this select the columns you want to pick. Alright. Okay, let's go back to our notes. Okay, we talked about the select now, and we have done an example, and you saw it that okay. The next one, let's say, is where. This one you saw it me using most of the time, and where filter, what where is used for. When you want a certain condition, you have to use the word where. So for instance, when we wanted to delete a row, we used where, right? So for instance, let's say example here. The example in our notes says that someone wants, let's say, select column from table name where there's a condition, right? Select customer name city from customers where city equals to Nairobi. So what this does is that it brings only the names and the city, so from Nairobi. So where is a when you want to meet a certain condition. Alright, so this is also one of the most used query, right? One of the most used key. But make sure you understand what where does. Okay, let's go back to our dbeaver and check it out by ourselves. Where, okay, when you go back to your dbeaver and I show you something, we used it earlier on, and I hope you can remember that. Um, we used it, right? Okay, we used it. So this is here. For example, this, as you can see here, set update age, then where. This is used for to meet a certain condition, right? So where is one of the most used query, and also select. It's also one of the most used SQL query, right? Let's go back to our notes and check out the next thing. Okay, once you go back to your notes, there we go. Alright, so now let's go back to our notes and see the next one. So the next keyword is order by. So what this does that it arranges your data either in ascending or descending. Alright. When I say ascending and descending, I mean from the highest to the lowest, or from the lowest to the highest. Right. Let's say you are working out the you have salary, right, in your column. Then you want to check who earns the highest and who earns the lowest. So you have to use the order by key here. So it's one of the most used query when you are working in a HR department or those stuff. Okay, also in finance department, because you will come across a lot of numbers. So for example, a company wants to give a bonus to those who earn maybe 50,000, or let's say, so you have to use the order by. So this arranges the salary according to that. Okay, so according to the highest to lowest, then you can select from there the bonus. All right, so and we don't have enough data to show you that. I think we have to insert some informations in our table so that I can show you how order by is. All right, now let's go back to our dbeaver. Once you go back to dbeaver, thank you for the subscription, brother. God bless you. Alright, now let's go back to dbeaver. Okay, now we have informations here. I would love to add something here. I don't know, but okay, let's say you need to add something for you to understand the order by, right? Let's say let's select 2 there. Okay, move to the other one. Let's say like and give me a name, guys. Mike. No, you already used Mike. Okay, let's use John. Okay. Then comma, then Paul. Okay, let's put a semicolon there. Okay, let's try this. I don't know if it runs this one. I have some. Okay, let's check where the problem is. Error, syntax error or near. Alright, so think I think that is the problem here because we ran twice, so we only have to run once, right? Okay, there we go. Now we have two data sets, so we want to arrange this from the highest to the lowest, so according to employee ID. So which value has the highest? So 2, right? So if when we use the word order by, it's going to bring this at the top. If we use from the highest to the lowest, okay, that is descending, right? So let's check out that. Select all. Okay, by the way, this all is not recommended when you're working with a large data set. As I said, make sure you pick the columns you want. Alright, but now to save time, I will have to use that from employee. So that is the name of our table. Now move to the other line where okay, select all from employee, then order by employee ID. Now let's write descending. So we only use the first 4 letters, okay? And for ascending you write ASC. For descending you write DESC. So you are not supposed to write the full word descending. You only write only the abbreviated function, right? That is desk, which means descending. Okay, now put a semicolon at the end. So there we go. So once we did order by descending. So we saw that as you can see, the second employee is the one at the top because it is 2 is greater than 1. So this is from the highest to the lowest. Okay, so when you're working with large data set, it's very important to be familiar with this order by. For instance, you want to check the one with the let's say you want to check the oldest or those stuffs, you use this order by. Okay, so now let's go back to our notes. So let's go back to our notes. So order by we have done. So the fourth keyword is group by. Group by groups rows that have the same value in a specified column, useful for counting, average, and summarizing data. Alright, so group by is when you want to group rows in a specific column, right? That is when you use group by. It summarizes data. Let's check out this example for us to understand properly. So we have used for counting, averaging, and summarizing data. Okay. Syntax: select column, right? Aggregate function, that is the group by, right? From table name, which that the name of the table, then group by column. Okay, these aggregate functions are either count, average, sum, minimum, maximum. Those are what we call aggregate function. Make sure you write down those things, right? Those are aggregate functions. So you say select column, so the column name, the name of the column. So then you say aggregate function, either count or maximum of the column. Then you put the name of the column in a bracket. Then from table, from the table name, then group by column. So you want to group them, it groups them by specific column. That is what how I have understood it. If anyone there who can explain better than me, you can go ahead and explain in the chat, but let me hear from you guys. How do you understand the group by? Okay, for me, I've understood it in a different way. So when you want to group a specific column, you use a group by. Okay, so from the word group by, just look it from English side. Okay, so group by means that it groups in a specific column. Okay, let's continue and let's go and answer these questions. Right, example 1: count how many books per author. Okay, so select author, there's a column named author. Count, it means now count all, right, as total books. So this column that is created, this is a new column that is created for this. As means alias, right? Also known as alias. This is a nickname. Alias is a nickname. Okay, from books. As it groups data based on a specific column. You don't even have to worry, because you will understand this when that professor comes. The way he explains things is way different from me. He's more experienced than me, and he will teach you everything you've learned. Okay, just don't miss out that lesson. Now let's select column. We're going to select employee ID, first name. Okay, right, select employee ID, select employee ID, first name, okay, let's say count, right? Alright, let's just say it that way, because we're beginners. Now from the table name, that is employee, okay, group by. So when you're grouping by a certain column, the column must must have been mentioned earlier on. So when you're saying select employee ID, first name, so group by means that you have to choose one of these two columns. Okay, you cannot go to another column, it will bring error. So you have to group by based on these two. So if we choose employee ID, let's check it out. Employee ID. Okay, let's run our query and see if it works. Okay. There we go. So we have grouped by based on our employee ID. Okay, that is what group by does. So one of the most important thing you should remember is that when you are using this group by keyword, make sure the column you have mentioned earlier on, either first name or the employee ID. That is one of the tips. Okay, pro tips. Now let's go back to our notes and check it out, the next keyword. Okay, if you have not understood this group by, and there will be a lesson that where a professor will come in this channel. Once we finish SQL by ourselves, he will come and teach you everything. I don't know how many hours those, I don't know, but make sure you attend. And if you have friends, make sure you tell them also to attend that lesson. Okay, let's go back to our notes. Okay, once we go back to our notes. Okay, someone asked, all right, I'm a junior data analyst, not senior. Okay, so the senior will be coming on after we finish this SQL. He will come and explain to you. He has a lot of experience, more than 20 years. All right, having, let's go to which one did we leave anything? Okay, group by then having. Okay, let's go to having. Filter after group. Okay, definition. Having is like where, but used after group by. Okay, this is very important. This is one of the questions that you will be asked, or you will come across in interviews. The difference between having and where. Okay, you can just say that having is used. Having is like where, but used after group by. Okay, you can also say that where is used uh, without the aggregate function, and having is used with the aggregate function, right? Because this is a common question that is asked in an interview. Okay, once you have applied for a job and you get a job, make sure you expect this question, right? You have to, this is a common question. Yep. So you say that having is like where, so it does the same thing as where. So where, now we say that for a specific condition, when you want to retrieve a specific condition, we use where. Same thing with having, but the difference is that having is used after group by, so it comes after running a group by, then we have having. Okay, example here. Have you guys read my article, the article that I sent yesterday? Because it is very, very important, that article. It explains all everything inside and out. Check it out. It is free to go and read it, and I will share it, I think, to this link after we end this lesson. Okay, go and read it by yourself. You will understand everything. Okay, syntax. Select column aggregate function. This is the aggregate function. You said count, minimum, maximum. Those are the aggregate functions. From table name, so the name of the table, then group by. So group by we did as we did earlier on. So you choose one of the columns, then you say group by. Having, now it comes after group by, as you can see here. That is the difference between having and where. So where comes if we have used, can we use both? Okay, if we were to use both, and where will have come before, right? Before group by, and having will come after group by. That is the only different thing. Okay, so if you know how to use where, then you probably know having to, only that it comes after group by. Okay, now let's go to limit. So limit shows only few records, so you want to restrict a certain number of uh, rows. Okay, it is helpful when previewing data, also useful for showing top results. Okay, you want to check top 5. First you say descending, that is from the highest to the lowest, then you say limit 5, then you get top 5, right? Limit is used to restrict a certain number of rows. It is very very important, and let's check it out. Okay, having I haven't done because it is just the same as where, right? It has no difference completely, it's just the same, it only comes after group by. Okay, let's go to limit and do. So let's go back to limit, let's go back to the beaver, sorry for that, limit. Okay, now so we are going to limit 1. All right, so as you can see we have 2 rows here. I want to see only the top row. What I do is let's just wrap this, then limit 1. Okay, so I'm going to limit only 1 row. As you can see there, the other column is no longer there, you see. So it will only display only the first row. If you had numbers of let's say a lot of data sets, you had maybe even 900 rows, and you want to check top 5, you just put here 5. Okay, limit 5. First you put descending, then okay, I forgot that, so this is ascending. Okay, let's do descending. Oh my days, sorry for that. Sorry for that. Okay. Guys, there's a problem here. Play ID. There's a problem. There's a problem. There's a problem here. Okay. Okay, there we go. So we have selected all from employees. So employee ID desk. Okay, we want to check the top employee, right? So according to employee ID. So go there, then say limit 1. Okay, now run your query. There we go. We only have 1 row. Okay, that is the function of limit. Now let's go back to our notes. Hope you've understood that. Let's go back to our notes. Okay, limit we have done. So the next one is maximum, I think. Okay, limit we have done. So those are the only keywords that we have we said let's do a recap of what we learned. We did we talked about select. That this is the first keyword. We say that it is used to retrieve data. Then we went to where. This is used to filter certain condition. It's also same as having, okay, but having comes after group by, and this one comes before group by. Okay, the next one is we did order by, so this one sorts data either in ascending or descending. Okay, so the other one here is having, okay, group by, so it groups based on a specific column. So okay, that is it. Then having, we say it is same as where, but comes after group by. And lastly we have limit, so which restricts certain records for you to see the top records, right? And you say that it is helpful when previewing data and also useful when showing top results. This is it. This is the summary table. So select and title, author from books, okay, where filter records and price is greater than 2000. Okay, you can see this. This is a summary of what we have done. Now that is the end of our lesson today. Okay, now there was a question my friend asked. Okay, I want to answer that question. So you have finished the lesson today. If you want to leave right now, you can leave. So there's a question that one of you asked me. Okay, by the way, if you have a question, you can just ask me. There's no problem with that. Okay, the question was, let me just see that question. Mm. So this was the question. He asked me about the types of data analysis. This is a very important question because when you're doing work, so you will be given different roles. Okay, we have descriptive analysis. These are summarizes past data to understand what happened. So descriptive analysis, so usually they they analyze the past data. Okay, so for instance, your employer can tell you that can you just go back to our data set and give me some informations what had happened. Okay, then what you're going to use is descriptive analysis. Okay, example here, a company reviews last quarter sales data to see which products sold the most. That is descriptive analysis. And the tools and techniques used is averages, percentage, data visualizations, dashboards. You see, descriptive analysis usually use these data visualizations. Okay, data analysis is not about just numbers. So there's a reason behind those numbers. That is a very, very good question. Then we have a diagnostic analysis. Okay, explains why something had happened. Okay, this is now where the important part comes in. So let's say the sales had dropped. So you ask yourself, why has the sale dropped by 20%? Why? So that is diagnostic analysis. You are trying to figure out something. Okay, if sale dropped, diagnostic analysis might investigate whether it was due to fewer store visits or poor marketing. Tools and techniques used for that is a drill down, data mining, correlation analysis. Okay, number 3 is predictive analysis. Now This is now focuses future outcomes based on historical data. You have analyzed your past data. Okay, now you want to, uh, according to the past data, now you try to forecast future outcomes. Okay, so the example using past customer behavior to predict who is likely to buy next month. So you're going to use predictive analysis, and tools the techniques used are machine learning. This is now where it goes to data science. So most of the work will be done by data science. Okay, they usually focus on future, and as a data analysis, we usually do a past trend. Okay, but some of the time you'll be told to do predictive analysis. Okay, we have prescriptive analysis, recommends actions to achieve desired outcomes. Okay, now from prescription. Okay, do you know the word prescription? That is it, prescriptive analysis. So it comes from the word prescription. So recommends action. So recommends. So when you go to hospital and there's a prescription given, so you are recommended something. So that is it. So you recommend something to achieve desired outcome. Okay, example suggesting the best marketing strategy. So this is now this prescriptive analysis. These are the people that if you want to do business analysis, so you go this way, prescriptive analysis, and these people are paid a lot of money if you are doing prescriptive analysis. Then you, because a whole company and they rely on you, so when they want to invest something, so you will do the prescriptive analysis. Okay, the tools and techniques used are optimization algorithms, decision trees. Those are things that are done. Okay, those are the four types of analysis. Let's do a recap. We said descriptive analysis and usually focuses on past thing and past data set. We also have diagnostic analysis, explains why something happened. Okay, and predictive analysis focuses on the future outcome, and prescriptive analysis lastly recommends actions to achieve desired outcome. Okay, that is a question that was asked by one of you, and thank you so much for attending today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed that lesson, and make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and see you tomorrow same time, 10 a.m. East Africa time zone. Okay, goodbye. So just say, guys, can you try to write which country are you from in the chat so that we know each other? Where are you guys from? Okay, I want to know my viewers where they came from, so I'm just curious. So okay, for me, I'm from Kenya. You guys know Kenya, right? Came from Kenya. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye. Thank you so much for attending today's lesson, and